You're hoping you're on the path that properly tells the story in the way that most people in the team want it to be told. And you hope when the person who watches this immediately after you do your initial pass really thinks you nailed it. Hi, I'm Susana Benaim, and I'm a picture editor. I grew up in Caracas, Venezuela, in the era of Hugo Chavez, so it was a highly politically charged upbringing. Freedom of speech in Venezuela was definitely taken over by the government, and that lost a lot of work for my dad, who worked with a lot of national news stations. It opened my eyes to the importance of freedom of speech, the importance of communication, and I was not really going to have the ability to do what I wanted to do, which was tell stories in a truthful way. I stumbled upon editing by chance, actually, not because of my dad, but at some point of years of me just using editing and filmmaking as a hobby, he brought me in and sat me next to an editor in his production company, and I learned a lot from that experience. I think I always knew that I wanted to get a higher education in the United States, and with the politics that were going on in Venezuela, I knew that there was only so far I could get in my career there. While I was at Syracuse University, I learned much more of the storytelling nuts and bolts than I would say probably editing. Editing was a skill I already had, but I think the technical aspects are just actually a very small percentage of the job. I think to be a really good editor, you really have to understand story. You really have to understand human psychology. I've been lucky to work with people that, respond to the footage in the way that I do, and that really like the way I tell that story. When I started editing, I noticed that a lot of rooms didn't have as many diverse faces as the world around us. They did a census within the guild, and one of the smallest categories was Latinos. So I'm very involved with what's called the Latin Steering Committee at the guild. That entails showcasing Latin talent within the Editors Guild, but it also gave me a sense of community. I grew up with a lot of insecurity in terms of the world I lived in. So it's really imperative for me to find institutions that feel trustworthy. First Entertainment understands how the entertainment world works, and because of that, they normalize the fact that my career is a little bit unorthodox. It really helps to have a financial institution that understands me.